Hello, everybody. How's my sound? I assume it's good. We are doing the pre-show for Critical Role Campaign 4, Episode 8. It's been a long time since we've seen each other. We were on the other side of Thanksgiving, so it's been a minute. It feels like forever to me for some reason, but I'm excited. The stream is actually working. I don't know why I didn't think it was going to. It's kind of bonkers. Yeah, we got a lot to discuss about the last. I think things are definitely going to pop off in this episode, and we'll get into it pretty soon about all that stuff. But I hope all of you are doing really well. I'm checking a couple of other things on the stream. I tried to experiment with some stuff, but I don't think it worked. Streamlabs. Oh! I got chat somehow actually in the stream. I'm excited. And then, where are you? I don't see that working, though. Did you all see chat pop up for a second? Weird. Yes, we had Thanksgiving, as I call it, Turkey Day, American. That's a lot of people have different celebrations of this type, but in different countries. So I get a bunch of happy Turkey Days from Canadians way ahead of time. So yep, you can actually see chat, little tiny chat. So perfect. All right, well that's nice. Cannot see our super chat goal. That is not apparently working. So that's just going to be how it goes. We'll test out thoroughly the next day. Yeah. Weird. Streamlabs. Let's see. We're about 5 minutes in, so we should probably jump into everything. I'm checking out. I am not muted. That's incorrect. I can tell that I'm not muted. I do admire the confidence of thinking I am muted, though. Yeah, I think chat's sent to fade after a few minutes. We tried the super chat goal last time. I don't think it really worked. Let's try again. Well, a goal was created. I don't know how effective all this is. All right, let's just kind of dive into the content. I don't want everyone to sit here and, watch me learn how to stream. I am thankful for everyone that's in here right now in chat. I need to share this out real quick, so I appreciate your patience. But I'm curious what everyone's theories are as to what's going to happen tonight. I think this is going to be one of those banger of an episodes, especially since it's right after they took a break. And I think they're going to come out swinging. Pretty strong, I think. That's my suspicion. Yeah, we got that. Just sending out on Instagram. Perfect. And I'll check chat. We also have super chats, so if you really want to get everyone's attention, that is a fantastic way to go about it as well. Ooh, we just got a super chat. Here you go. Thank you so much for the super chat. Charles, number 2. I can't see. Sometimes Streamlabs kind of truncates stuff in a really weird way. It was a wild episode. Is everyone watching Mighty 9 by chance? because those have been some banger of episodes as well. I suspect it'll still be Soldier's Table, considering that Laura is the thumbnail for tonight, being Thimble. But then that means, what's the pre-show going to be? What's going to be the alternate that they always do? We got more people coming in. We'll let people filter in before we get deep into it. Yeah, Mighty Nine's been fantastic. I actually released an interview I had with the cast because one of the things that really stood out with the show was there's a lot of dark moments in the Mighty Nine, and if you know, you know, and those dark moments they hit pretty hard before when we were watching the live show, but now when you watch it animated, it's much darker. And I was given review screeners of the Mighty Nine, and not only did I think the animation, and we're kind of spoiled by the animation. I forget how good it is because I'm kind of just like watching every episode back to back, and you kind of get spoiled in that sense of like how good things are. But seeing really dark moments, and we get into it with the cast on my YouTube channel, seeing some moments, in Caleb's history, and honestly, just Knott's, addiction, are really hard to watch animated because it becomes a little bit more real in subject matter that's already a bit dark. So it's a while to watch that happen. Okay, that's been sent. Okay, Blue Sky. It's funny how much more effective Blue Sky is than Twitter. It's kind of ridiculous, really. And of course, if you ever share, that's fantastic. And here we go. Super chats. Well, I don't know why there's a difference between teal and the color on super chats for YouTube. It's totally bizarre to me. Let's go ahead and address some super chats real quick. We got, yay, Charles 2450 for $5. Here you go. Thank you so much. Thank you for confirming that it's working. It's too bad it's not showing up in the chat box. I'm sure there's a way I can wire it so they're highlighted on the stream directly. That's kind of strange. So I'm assuming the super chat didn't have a color when it went up on the chat box. So that means some of the HTML information isn't running through. So I think we're about ready to get into it. I'll go ahead and share on X. Not that X really matters anymore. All right. Okay, let's do it. First off, thanks for everyone for showing up. I really appreciate it. And thank you for sharing it with other friends. I noticed we've been actually growing an audience. Hopefully we get an even bigger audience tonight than we had 2 weeks ago. But this is a nice, cool, cozy hangout moment that we can have to kind of like gear up for Critical Role and get our heads in the right space and kind of have a refresher of everything that's going on. We also have Cassius dropping Cassius 335 dropping a super chat as well. I wonder what Murray's next job will be. Yeah, I know Murray's kind of Murray's being one of the schemers. I really wonder how Murray's going to apply themselves now. I thought they could have worked within the school itself, but that doesn't seem like that's going to be an option anymore. Maybe just working their contacts. I'm not quite sure what Murray's future entails. So let's go ahead and go over everything that happened in the previous episode, because a refresher is probably due for all of us a little bit. Well, we did find everyone after they murdered the Wraith. They closed the portal to the Wraith tree that was again leading to it's kind of like the Shadow of Hell, but it's really the plane of existence where the dead are kind of piling up and piling up and piling up. It sounds like the gods, if not, now that they're gone, are not ferrying souls to another location of any kind. So the land of the living, the land of the dead, that membrane is getting very, very, very thin in the show. So what we are seeing is they searched a bunch of the dead bodies. Thimble found some coins. They found the guy who was responsible for killing Fae folk, which was really screwed up because they actually had the horns of the satyr on the man, and he had some cold iron weapons. This is really screwed up because not only does he really hate Fae creatures, he left the satyr alive, which is a weird level of darkness and creepiness to me. So there's something so sadistic about that. I'm glad that that NPC is no longer with us. So, yep. at least he's dead. Pretty screwed up. It'd be nice to get him the horns back. I doubt you could reattach the horns, but one can hope, right? Right? It's kind of put those horns back on. They did find multiple different types of potions on him, fluids of some different creatures. Thimble actually had a really cute moment where she slept in Tyranny's ear, which was a nice kind of character beat of these two characters kind of trusting each other a little bit more. We did see the Kingdom of Timony, which has dogs everywhere. It's very dog-centric. We got the impression that some of them were awakened, but really they're druids that are in dog form, and that the King of Timony actually was heading south, and he's not in the kingdom currently. He was the one that they saw on the King's Road, but strange bit is he's considered to be kind of an evil king, or one that they want to usurp. This may be the Candescent Creed, specifically talking crap about that particular king. So it's hard to say. I don't know if this is an actually evil king, or this is just the Candescent Creed trying to get rid of somebody. So that we're not sure quite yet. Thank you so much for the super chat. I don't know what that denomination is, but happy Yuletide, Mr. Kenrick. Keep making great content. Everyone, that really helps a lot. By the way, super chats are massive in keeping these streams going and helping me fly around. I recently flew down to Los Angeles to actually interview folks from Critical Role and about Dagger Heart as well. And we've got a lot of Dagger Heart videos, and that's because of people like you. This kind of stuff requires a lot of equipment and everything, and so the super chats are absolutely huge. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Moving on, we had a fallow. Wait, what's his name? Fallow, from the Candescent Creed. He ran into Wakander and Tyranny, and they kind of staged this fake inspection thing. And we saw some damage to some trees that had kind of charms and stuff for the Fae folk in this area that had been damaged or stripped down. And this particular member of the Candescent Creed is very anti-demon and very anti-Fae, which is not great for Tyranny and also for Thimble. And they were pretty kind of pissed off, kind of accusatory at Wakander for all of this. I feel like Tyranny would have already known that, though. But a lot of anti-demon, anti-fairy rhetoric. They have a new Baron's Sloke, which is a shit town. We've got confirmation that I was totally wrong, and everyone, it's I'd admit it. I admit when I'm wrong. Wakander is 100% a Clockwork Soul Sorcerer. That was a Clockwork Soul Sorcerer ability he used. When he said it, I read it right out of the textbook at the time. It does imply a lot of quirky things, and so given that they're saying, how many lies does the Candescent Creed truly have is what we need to kind of examine. So if they're saying that these are celestials, these things that went rabid once the gods were gone, that doesn't really make sense for how we typically see angels depicted in fantasy settings like D&D. So I'm wondering if these celestials are even celestials at all, but some kind of machines gone awry in some really quirky, strange way. Something that's not associated with good or evil planes as much as something about order, because that makes sense. If if Wakander is related to that creature, which he is, and he's got clockwork soul sorcerer blood, that does not imply necessarily a divine connection. Though you could make you could have the perspective that this is a god of order or a celestial of order, and that's the reason why he has that ability. But it feels like there's something sneakier happening than what we've been led to believe. So I don't even believe necessarily that Wakander has celestial blood. I think it's some other type of blood coming from where the hell is in that basement. I don't think that this is a custom-made subclass from Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins. Though the only reason I say that is I feel like Chris and Jeremy would have, specifically Jeremy typically would have reworded that ability. That's a third level ability for Clockwork Soul Sorcerers. So it might have had a different flavor and a little different writing within it, but I could be wrong. They could have simply copied and pasted from the Clockwork Soul Sorcerer and made something modular. Sorry. That's totally possible. We got some crazy natural 20s, which, if you get 2 natural 20s at disadvantage, that's a 1 in 400 chance. That was pretty wild. They did notice that at this inn, that very well may have Teor's brother in it. Was a vassal house at Tachonis. There was a woman who was one of the Tachonises and had tattooed lips, so she looked like a skull. She was very worried when they found out that Thiazi had seen a falcon at the moment of his death. That seemed to be of import, whether it was a portent that was scary to what the Tachonises know as a prophecy of some kind, or it indicates an entity that was pretending to be a falcon. We don't know, but that was a very important thing in the previous episode. The fact that Thiazi Fang saw a falcon was pretty huge. She was very worried. Casimir talks a lot of crap to the Tachonises and gets spanked by swords and is bloody. Pretty wild persuasion checks were rolled using Charm Person. Wakander was able to actually get in to see Casimir, and also Tyranny as a nurse named Dr. Finger, or he's calling himself Dr. Finger, and it was wild. It was a wild time. Lots of Casimir actually rolled a 4 on his insight check, so failures all around. It was pretty funny. I don't know that Casimir is going to live past this episode. What a horrible villain, and not a very competent one at that. I feel bad that Thiazi Fang died at his hands in some way, or because of actions he took. It's kind of bizarre to me. So, we don't know a ton about the Falconers' Rebellion, or because why else call it the Falconers' Rebellion? Like, that may be something even more specific. When you think about the fact that we are now in the world, the city of Timony, previously, the kingdom of Timony, and they have such a strong dog association, it may be that like different factions have different strong associations with different creatures, specifically the druids. So, I'm sorry I'm reading super chat, and sorry if I'm missing some super chats. I don't know if you're hearing that chiming sound. I can raise the screen. I don't think it's going to affect the... Oh, there it goes. Yeah. Good point. So that's kind of the rundown of the previous episode. We did actually learn a couple other things from like cooldowns and a fireside chat with Liam. Liam actually mentioned that he had... he didn't have a secondary character in mind for Critical Role at the time they started campaigning for, but has since started playing, has now come up with a really cool idea that Brennan quite liked, and now he feels like there's a little bit of a target now on Hal, and that Hal may be in danger because Liam had come up with such a good secondary character concept. I wonder if that secondary character concept might have been actually Hal's own son, or one of his sons or daughters to play. And that might have been an interesting thing to do, but I'm not quite sure. Anything's speculation right now. So right now, what we're going to probably see at the beginning of this episode is we got Casimir in play. They're sitting there right next to him. I don't feel like the soldiers are going to do anything if they try to kill this dude. I don't think any of the soldiers care in this town whether Casimir lives or dies. So I think Casimir's dead. One bad persuasion check from dying. That's my personal opinion. So we'll see. And that's my breakdown. Very quickly. It's something that I keep on bringing up. Faith in how things work seems extremely important, down to, Thimble's sword being a sword that, the gnome had created for his daughter, and the gnome, he had created magical items before, but no magical items like this doll sword had ever stayed magical for so long, but his daughter's belief made it last longer, and so that's Thimble's sword now. And it feels like just the power of belief is very important. And I know it's a little bit of a stretch, but I keep on getting these other impressions of how much belief is important to how things are structured or function in the world. That having X amount of followers was extremely important to the gods. And it's starting to make me feel as if the gods themselves maybe weren't gods. They were just regular mortals who had convinced people to worship them and had grown powerful and more long-lasting over time because of that faith. I think the gods could potentially be a sham, or that this might not even be the first rebellion where the gods were killed. We have some really intense lore drops every single episode of Campaign 4, and almost all of them, I think, affect how we see the world and how it functions. I think when we get to the Seeker's table, things are going to get really wild. I do believe we'll stay with the Soldier's table for most of this episode, but then probably switch after this to go to the Seeker's table or something else. Or have some type of hodgepodge of multiple tables might be interesting. I'm a little surprised by Teor's self-control for not going directly after his brother, or what he thinks is he thinks his brother is, and that was a point of contention. Casimir very much wanted to kill Teor's brother, but the family Tachonis had other plans for him. It'd be pretty horrifying if his brother does die. Or has his shadow ripped out, almost like in the way that had almost happened to Teor, Pridesire. So it's interesting. The Candescent Creed gets weirder and weird every day. We're going to probably get, as long as we're in an episode with Sam, he's done so much lore and so much world building in terms of creating like essentially a fake religion around the Candescent Creed. I think we're going to keep on getting lore drops for a really long time. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. Big shout out to... I know who it is. It's just that they keep on shrinking my screen. Let me put this away. Thank you again, Cassius335. What if Ahriman is unlimited with Matt as the DM? What if Ahriman is unlimited with Matt as the Dungeon Master? I don't know that I understand that reference. Well... Yeah, Sid. Sid is Teor's brother. Oh, I get what you mean. Yeah, that would be interesting if one Dungeon Master has handling flashbacks. I did run a West Marches style game, and we did have 3 Dungeon Masters who all would tackle different campaigns. So, like, I would run a game for about 12 episodes, and then another person would run 12 episodes, and another one, and then we had one big giant insane game, and we all ran it at the same time. everyone at the table doing like someone was doing, one group was doing combat, one group was literally doing a stealth mission, and another part was like Jedi fighting Sith. And this was whole happening around one huge massive table, multiple tables that we actually stuck together. And it was super wild. Yeah, like EXU, that would be pretty wild. I think that would be fun. I think Matt doing that would be really great. Kind of switching, role reversing in a way. And certainly his character isn't in a position to... oh, he is amongst the Seekers, though, isn't he? Yeah. Yeah, that'd be interesting. It's an interesting theory for sure. So what do we think is going to happen tonight, I guess, is like the primary huge question. I'll be surprised if Casimir lives, unless he has information that is deeply important. I feel like no one has gotten a taste of revenge yet. And the only way that Casimir might live if he is crucial to getting Teor's brother Sid essentially out of prison or out of captivity. There's no love lost now between Casimir and the Tachonis. Casimir is, I would say, incredibly egotistical, reckless, dare I say stupid. So I can see him switching sides quite rapidly. He doesn't care about the town himself, so maybe they could also, persuade Casimir to actually join their side, because he doesn't want this town. He doesn't have the respect of the soldiers, so they could get the soldiers to kill him, or they could get him to leave the town and help them get Sid back. Who knows? It could go either way, and I think we're at a pivotal moment of character choice. Yes, that's Cassius has a very good point. It's this also could be a bastion. This could be the main location that everyone kind of adopts as a bastion. And within D&D, the bastion system is where you actually kind of own a castle, a town, a business, all types of a base of operations. And in a lot of role-playing games, you kind of establish a base of operations sometimes. It gives the characters something to care about. It's a very good question. I don't know what the cold open's going to be, and I think I just messed up again. I didn't turn on ads. Oh, man. It's because it doesn't auto... It's supposed to auto do it on YouTube, and it doesn't do it with streams. It's just a little bit frustrating. But that's okay. We haven't been streaming forever, so it's okay. And we got super chats. Yep, we got 30 minutes without ads. But that's on me. I'm a little rusty since Turkey Day. I'm checking something really quick. Just hold on. Oh, it's okay. It's fine. That's my fault. I mean, everything's a learning, right? That's how you learn. You gotta mess up. You got. It's unfortunate, but I am a one-man band, and I've been working on a lot of content lately. So that's just how it goes. Is my camera bright enough? Does it feel a little dark? Let me check something real quick. It's a little dark. Oh, it may be darker because I've got the lights directly in view, so that might be causing a little bit of an issue. Yeah. I've just updated the all of it, so thank you for the super chat from For the Ad Revenue Gods. Thank you so much, Deeply Broken 00. Okay, good. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was too dark. I've got them on a holiday fluctuation right now, so the colors are changing and all this other stuff is happening. Did you get to do anything? So I did do several interviews. I had a hard choice. It was either fly down to LA or fly to PAX Unplugged. I opted not to go to PAX Unplugged and go to Los Angeles. But next time I will go to PAX Unplugged, assuming I have the income to do so. But I just didn't feel like I had the income. PAX Unplugged was extremely expensive this year for hotels and also flights because they were having a marathon, I believe, at the same time. And they really price gouge conventions. The conventions don't price gouge. It's the hotels and the restaurants and everybody else who was around there, airports, the whole thing. Everyone's kind of just weaponized travel. If you're excited, and I totally get it. I mean, it's supply and demand, but it's also kind of not super nice to people who don't have a ton of disposable income. But conventions just increasingly get more expensive. But I do have multiple interviews about Acquisitions Incorporated and them moving to Daggerheart. So we've got 2 interviews about that topic. And the Penny Arcade folks actually live here in Seattle with me. Not with me in my house. But they're just a drive away. And I want to interview them about the changeover as well. Gabe did some really fantastic art. Mike Krahulik for those new characters. And everyone was great about changing their species. I was a little surprised to see that Jerry didn't change his character's species, but that's how it goes. Sometimes you just have a vision for your character that is does not change, and that's totally understandable. I get it. Would have liked to see a Ribbit one. Feels like chat's a little slow on this window, so I'll go over to the other one. Oh, thank you so much, Kelly. Been loving your interviews lately. I love doing the interviews. I do need to make original content outside of interviews because you'll eventually run out of interviews. So it's a dangerous thing. Ultimately, I had to cancel myself. Originally made a PAX U hotel reservation in the spring. Rooms were already marked up over twice their normal price. Yeah, it's rough. I got to get on Gen Con way early this year to make sure that doesn't happen to me again. Gen Con was crazy expensive. But I'm really excited for tonight's episode. It was kind of hard not having them. I mean, I get it. Ratings might have been a little lower on Thanksgiving, but, we also had Stranger Things. Then, also, maybe it's a good idea to get out of the way of Stranger Things dropping on Thanksgiving. That was a pretty huge drop. I also like all the D&D references. Plenty of D&D references in Stranger Things this year, again, for season 5. I won't spoil it if you haven't gotten to it yet, but I understand. Will I be at GaryCon? I may consider going to GaryCon. I'll take a look at what the lineup is. GaryCon's certainly a little bit cheaper. Something I'll definitely bring up to Luke. So GaryCon's intense. That is like the most intense role-playing 3 days ever. GaryCon. And cold. Very cold. Yeah. But yeah, there's potential for a lot of interviews at GaryCon for sure. That might be fun. Stranger Things already has 60 million views, record setting. I'm not surprised. They also have the most expensive TV show ever created with about at $480 million to make that season. That's crazy and unheard of. So yeah, that's definitely a big deal. Yeah, I think we're gonna probably get a Seekers table. We had Schemers last time for the cold open, so I think we haven't seen the Seekers in a moment. So Tingel, I if that's how you say it, or Dingel, I completely agree. I think that's a very fair and safe assumption. What type of original content do you think I'm going to be doing? So I'm way behind on creating original playtest material for D&D and Daggerheart. I am going to start cranking that out this weekend. I keep saying that, but it's just a me learning InDesign and formatting stuff in a way that I like is an issue. And the other original content will be like, I have all these character builds in my head, both for Daggerheart and also D&D, like push builds and stuff like that, or Dungeon Master advice and player advice for people watching the stream. And I kind of want to integrate that increasingly with Critical Role Campaign 4 as well, just to, it's such a good example of, it is always it's a good master class in dungeon mastering when you're watching Brennan or Matt run a game and seeing these different interactions. Running 3 tables gives you a lot of kind of rapid fire interactions that you might not see. Pronounced Danielle. Oh, Danielle, but okay, perfect. Got you. I will try to remember that. I am, as everyone knows, completely shit with names. Yeah, I think the Seekers table, because last time we were already at the university, so I feel like Seekers is... Yeah. It would be weird to go back to the university again. Just reading chat. Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, Octus is interesting. Octus is an interesting character, just the necromancy angle of all of it as well. I can hear my wife has just got home, so I may put up a be right back kind of slate temporarily coming up. So, but we're sticking here till the stream happens. 1 second. Yeah, she's home. It's getting cold here in Seattle. It's getting cold really close. Oh, yeah, I like the idea of them having one giant board of like all the different conspiracy. Yeah, the Brilliant Mind board. Oh, yeah, I need to do that, actually. As an overlay would be hilarious. Just writing on my screen all the different conspiracy theories, but that would have to require me understanding how to write in reverse. There must be a tablet or something that I can do that, where you draw on the tablet and it broadcasts it to the screen. That seems like a very teachery thing to do. Do we think tieflings are natural to this setting? No, they are not. Tieflings don't exist in this setting. Tyranny is playing a demon, and they're very clear about that, and they've been since the get. Last episode, I saw a sneaking suspicious Tyranny was in Wick's original fiance's body. Oh, interesting. That's creepy. I feel like a demon inside a tiefling is a little bit of a hat on a hat. Getting cold in Palm Springs, I'm sleeping with a sweater. Wow, that's hardcore. Classic foes with red yarn. Oh my god, is 32 in New Jersey? No. I grew up in a very cold area, and Seattle, though Seattle's perpetual night is a little troublesome. You start to, the long dark here in Seattle is it's not as bad as Alaska, but boy, you just aren't getting daylight, so you start to get a little weird after a couple of months of it. I'm looking forward to the solstice. Once we hit the darkest day. Oh, one thing that's cool with super, I don't know if it's with Super Chat, but I did. If you go to the very front page of my channel now, let's see. I wish I could share it without destroying the entire thing. Oh, all members. Yeah. So if you're a member of the live stream and of the YouTube channel, you can now see your icons on the front page right underneath the home video on my front page. So that's kind of wild and cool, I think. I don't know. I'm weird. I think it's cool. So if you go to the home page, you can actually see everyone who's actually a member of the YouTube channel. You can see your icons all listed on the very front page. That's kind of fun. I like stuff like that. That would be a turn if Wakander. I mean, what a twist! Because Wakander has been this entire time kind of set up to be this kind of doof, a guy who's not very aware of his environment, you know. But what if Wakander actually knows more about what's going on than actually Tyranny does? I don't think that's the case. But Sam's very capable of playing very intelligent, intricate characters, and everything having to do with Wakander and the Candescent Creed is sus. I think I'll leave it at that. I do not. I think nothing is quite meets the eye with Wakander or even Tyranny. So. San Diego is very lucky to be that warm. That's lovely. I'm probably going to fly down. I'll try to find some work to do in LA in the middle of the long dark, so I can be in a warm environment. It'd be fun. I know, like, California has. I've never been to it, but they have a medieval times, and I'm a cheesy person, but I think that would be fun to go to. I've never been. If medieval times is worth it, let me know. Uh-oh. We got people incoming. I'm going to mute real quick. Just 1 second. I'm back. Hello. Thanks for sticking around for that brief pause. I appreciate it. The missus just got home. Do we know who Wick was engaged to? I don't know. Turkey leg for dinner. So for Thanksgiving, we actually, I made turkey meatballs and spaghetti, and then we had spaghetti left over. So Friday we had spaghetti again. And then we needed to make more pasta, and then so Saturday we also had spaghetti, and then we had to make pasta again, extra pasta for the sauce. We always had the wrong sauce to pasta ratio. We don't like wasting food. So we had spaghetti for 4 days straight. That was my Thanksgiving. And I love spaghetti. I think your body is about to implode on the fourth day. I think that's a lot of pasta. I'm pretty sure I gained 5 to 10 pounds in 4 days. It was a wild time. But yeah. Medieval time seems like a fun, silly, fun time. And if you like, flying is really expensive though. So I don't know why I think it's $200 to get to LA. That's crazy. Then again, you could spend $200 on a Uber ride in Seattle. So things get a little crazy. No, I grew up in a location where we had snow drifts that completely, absorbed our house, which was pretty wild. So we had to dig our way out of the house and then get onto the roof because otherwise you risk a roof collapse. But when the wind hits the front of your house, it will create create this swirling kind of motion. So it'll suck snow increasingly in a wave towards your house, and it will meet the rooftop of your house and cause more snow to even impact than before. It's really weird, but it creates this kind of tunnel outside of your house in the awning. It's pretty wild. I know there's medieval times in Toronto. I was in Toronto recently, as a bunch of you know. Hello from Sweden? That's wild. 2:45 a.m. here. That's so late. Sweden seems like such a nice place. I don't know if that's true. Oh, wait. Isn't Sweden sometimes a little like Seattle? Let's see. I can't remember where it is. It might be Sweden. I think Sweden sometimes it takes a while for folks to warm up to you. I know that's a very broad generality. I just had a friend, I think, move to Sweden. I don't think Tyranny is Wix's ex. Yeah, I think it's a long shot, but it's interesting. Oh, if I do Gary Connor's one in the Chicago area, that's true. Yeah, I mean, you can get to LA for $200. LA's not terrible to fly to, but $200 per person is that's $400. So what? See medieval times. Hopefully, you want to do more stuff while you're there. Hello from Melbourne. Hi, Tom. I've been keeping an eye on your YouTube views. Episode 1 was big, but they're dropping off a lot. Episode 7 just had, on their YouTube views. I was like, don't make me feel bad. Just had 600K views. I'm missing something. You aren't missing something. There's always a pretty dramatic drop-off with live play shows, and they also are broadcasting on Twitch and also Beacon. So I wouldn't be too worried about the drop-off in views. This is a very complex story, and these are certainly very, very dense episodes. But I think there's they have a quite large audience on Beacon itself. I know sometimes people bring up, having a paywall up and stuff like that. But like the reason you have a paywall up is because like YouTube, I'm not making a ton of revenue off of YouTube. It's really limited. Like it's really this people who are joining my Patreon to support content like this, or who are doing super chats, or even better, subscribing. It's what do they call on YouTube? It's not subscriptions. It's members. People who do memberships on YouTube. That's how these shows actually are sustained. And certainly they can make revenue off YouTube, but if YouTube as a business changes anything, that could be extremely damaging to a company like Critical Role. So yeah, I think I would like a little bit more separation between Wick and Tyranny for sure. I like their current dynamic. What a wild thing to drop 3 years later, though, right? I wouldn't drop that knowledge right away. Okay. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat from Kelly Kenny. Appreciate it. That's huge. We had someone who actually gifted 50 memberships or something to the channel. That was insane. That was completely wild, which a bunch of you were the benefits of. That was massive. That was one of the times where didn't click the monetization button. I gotta find out why YouTube keeps demonetizing my live stream, so I gotta fix that. Yeah, that's a little bit frustrating. I am gonna spiffy up the channel though with some new stuff, hopefully soon. We're gonna keep that show going. 1 second. All right, so what we're going to probably see tonight, as we've been talking about, I think this is going to be an intense episode. This is the first time, I don't know how Thimble just doesn't straight up kill Casimir, but I think this is, I don't know how Casimir talks his way out of this one, unless the only way they can get to Sid is using Casimir. Otherwise, I think they're just going to cut that dude's head right off. Unfortunately, you don't seem suited for the clickbait gossip circuit, but not unfortunate. Okay, I appreciate it. I am not a clickbaity person by nature. I'm actually journalistically trained, and I've been covering Critical Role since campaign 1, which has been really fun. Yeah, I first started interviewing Matt back in campaign 1. Thank you so much, PJF Don. Is that £5? I have my Beacon sub, but I like to watch it on my telly, so YouTube is the best option, even at 3 in the morning. Enjoy your content. All the best, Pete. That's amazing. You can stream from Beacon to some TVs, and if you can't, I found myself in the middle of nowhere, and I eventually I'd find myself in the middle of nowhere sometimes where they didn't have cable channels or something, like staying at hotels, and I didn't want to sign into the TVs. You can get like a little Google dongle sometimes. With HDMI input, and you can stream that to that dongle through Beacon. It's called Google Home. You just pop that thing in. So I've watched Critical Role that way a couple of times actually. So yeah, I think Thimble's going to fly in one ear of Casimir's and out the other. I think Thimble is going to full on crawl through one ear, pop through the other side of his brain, and out the other ear. Crispy Tavern did the scathing video about Beacon as a platform. I don't know. I don't have any problems with Beacon right now, and they've got more content coming. How aligned do we think the Sundered Houses are with each other? I don't think very. Have you used the Google dongle to do this? It works really well. Yes, I have. I have actually used the Google dongle to do that. Yeah, I've used Beacon to connect. Chromecast, yeah, it's like that. So, yeah, you can use Chromecast with Beacon. And I can stream directly, I think, to my TV as well, though there might be a reason why I'm not doing it. So there may be some kind of complication. Oh, wow. Well, I don't know what NOK is, but 20 of it. Todd, you should try to get a hold on Svenskas. Whoa, I am horrible at Norwegian names. I'm assuming that's Norwegian, but I don't know. I don't know what that is. Can you elaborate, Mr. Turret? And thank you so much. I remember I went to it's a Wild Megan. I went to shoot a live play show for D&D for Lego, and I love you. I remember I bought like a Lego Frankenstein keychain, and it was like 180 marks, and I was like, oh my god, why is this so expensive? Because in my brain, it's scary to see like 180 pop up for like a keychain or whatever the heck it was, and you're just like so freaked out. You thought you just spent all this money. And it's just, the exchange ratio is very different in Nordic countries. Charles, thank you so much for the $20. I tend to watch... Oh, straight up $20. Geez, Charles. Charles 2. No, that's not Charles 2. That's Charles 2450. Thank you so much for the super chat. I tend to watch the first 20 to 30 minutes on Twitch and then switch to Beacon so that I can pause as I need to. Oh, yeah, good point. Working night shifts and every other Thursday I'm at work, so I need to squeeze watching in when I can. I hear you, man. I don't have... I am unemployed, so I don't have any money. I'm trying to get by on my end of the bills. But I do own Beacon. It makes it a lot easier to consume Critical Role episodes for me personally. I like having access to the cooldown, and like you mentioned, being able to pause it and start up again. Like I have to. Like this is part of my job. A little bit is to cover Critical Role every episode. I didn't get that luxury when I had a job at Wizards of the Coast necessarily, so getting to do this is kind of fantastic and really nice. And certainly the money from this goes to me being able to watch Beacon. We got a chat from Kelly Kenny. 27. I definitely think Todd hosting a Foresight dive or Talks Machina type thing would be a great idea. I agree. But I'm not gonna advertise that to the very kind folks at Croak Roll and Darrington Press. Yeah, I would love to do stuff like that. I think it's fantastic, and I think it brings something out of people. I have a really fantastic interview with Elise from Darrington Press, and she's such a fantastic interview. And so well spoken and so very passionate. And you should check out that interview. If you're interested in Darrington Press and Daggerheart, she is so eloquent in how she speaks and so clearly passionate and but yet somehow gets right to the point and earnest. And like they all are. Rowan and Spencer, I got a really long interview with Rowan and Spencer about design. And they're fantastic. Obviously, I love Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford and I have been friends for 8 years, and we've been in the trenches, and we got a great interview with them. I know the Penny Arcade guys for 10 years. And then I've known Matt for 8 to 10 years now as well. It's been wild. It's been absolutely a wild journey. And yeah, if I ever get to work with any of them in a more professional, consistent capacity, then I'm all for it. But if not, that's okay too, because you really need to be careful. I guess, how do I put it? You gotta be careful who you invite into the house, man. It's really hard, especially when a business. I was at a company, and I mentioned the company. This is multiple years ago. I do want to bring up the super chat real quick. Sibley C, I think that's how you pronounce it. $5. Thank you so much. Thank you for the top work, Todd. Do you think the players got caught in the information overload in the last session, which is why they missed Teor's brother? I don't. I think they made the choice to go after Casimir. I do have to say, when you're a player, you do miss stuff 100%. So that's a very good, very important thing. And I bring this up all the time is, a very recent example was Acquisitions Incorporated. Their last D&D session that happened prior to PAX Unplugged, they stabbed a dagger into a heart, which is a pretty on the nose ending to a show, showing you that it's dagger heart, right? Like dagger heart. Like we're moving to dagger heart, but the players at the table didn't understand that was the joke at the time. They just didn't think about it. Which is hilarious, but when you're a player at the table, sometimes you're not your smartest self, I'll be honest, because you're so engrossed in the story, you're not trying to necessarily figure out stuff. I always bring up this time I was in a game with Chris Perkins, it's a charity game, and I am a chaotic player, always. I am pure chaos, and by that nature being chaotic, Chris assumed I would be the one. Oh my God, we got a whole bunch of gift memberships. Thank you so much. We're scrolling by. Thank you so much, VBN, BN, BX, MN, XFM. Oh my God, that's so many gift memberships. Thank you so much. I can't even imagine how much expensive that is. Thank you. That is huge. Well, this is going to be happening for the next 20 minutes. See, you come to the stream and you get a whole bunch of gift memberships. Oh, that is wild. Yeah, I need to make sure I keep chat up like this. And then we'll make sure the super chats get a special space as well. But keep general chat up always. That's pretty wild. That's crazy. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Absolutely wild. I appreciate the support from the community. I'm still nervous because, you need X amount of money to pay the rent and food and all that stuff. So, you're always scared that if you're not producing, and the crazy thing is you're having to worry about what con you go to, or if you get onto a plane and you interview a few people. And I've had to say no to a couple of gigs because it was going to cost more money to do something than I knew I would make money off of. And that's so scary. I gotta tell you. Reloading chat. Hopefully we didn't have an internet issue. Okay. Thank you, Kelly, for the sent Todd Kenrick gift membership, please. Sent 1 Todd gift membership. Thank you so much. That was absolutely wild. Thank you again. Big ups to a number that is very long. Thank you, VPN, BNBXMNXFM. I really appreciate it, and so does everybody in chat. That was huge. Everyone really appreciates that. That's exceedingly generous. Thank you so much. That's wild. I got a little thrown off track right there. But yeah, I love interviewing all those folks. They're fantastic. Check out those interviews. I also saved an interview about the Mighty Nine having to do with Caleb's backstory, as well as kind of the animation that we see from Not. That's on the YouTube channel as well. That was extremely generous. Thank you so much, man. That's huge. People really love that stuff. I didn't even know you had to be open to receive gift memberships. That's wild. Why would you need to be open to receiving gift memberships? I guess you could be gifted things that are really sus on YouTube, I guess, right? I don't know. I mean, is it part of public information? Yeah, definitely throw up thanks to this person. That's so kind. Definitely a happy holidays move, dude. Thank you. Happy holidays to you. That's wild. Yeah, episode 5 from the Mighty Nine was absolutely peak. It's the first thing I wanted to talk to them about. So I for those who are not with the full stream, I repeat myself a little bit. So thank you so much for putting up with that. But I got streamer copies of the Mighty Nine, so I watched all the way through it in one day because they didn't give me a lot of time to watch it. But I watched all the way through it. And episode 5 of the Mighty Nine, I was like, I remember this when it streamed, because I've been watching since campaign 1, and I was even there for the finale of campaign 1 in the studio, not the studio proper, but in the building, watching from the preview room, because they don't let extra people into the studio during the games. And I remember watching Liam for the first time during the Mighty Nine do that monologue about his past, and I was just like, holy crap, that's so dark. And I bring this up in the interview that's on the YouTube channel right now, is you have this affection for Liam O'Brien, and you have this affection for Caleb. And so in your imagination, you're not imagining the absolutely worst thing possible. You're not given the vision. You are kind of censoring perhaps even your own horror about what you're being told about Caleb, by Liam O'Brien. And then you see it animated and you're like, oh God, this is so dark. This is so terrible. It's like a smack in the face. Because it's not to you now at this point. You see how dark the character goes. So seeing these moments, we didn't necessarily... Though the attacks in Mighty Nine, I would argue the same, not the Mighty Nine, but Vox Machina, those dragon attacks are just horrific. Black dragons in D&D, in the world of Critical Role, I mean, it's acid for breath. It's terrible shit. Chlorine gas comes out of green dragons. So, Frumpkin thing was pretty hard. That's why Frumpkin matters so much. That's wild that you have to opt in to gift memberships. That's so weird. I think YouTube's really trying, and most of my audience is on YouTube. I'm streaming on Twitch right now as well, so I hope I'm not missing anyone's chats. I apologize. Let me head over there real quick, just to be sure. So we got 4 people on Twitch right now. That's And I appreciate those people greatly. It does feel like Twitch is losing audience. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that, but yeah, it feels like Twitch is hurt. Hi, I'm from Minnesota. It's cold. Yeah, Minnesota is going to be cold. My 9 is moving very quickly for sure. It is, I mean, at least you're getting hour-long episodes though. But yeah, you're not wrong. It's moving pretty quick. So I can't wait to see this show animated. It's going to be wild. Oh, hey Todd, thank you for sending love from Chile. I love hearing where people are from. That is so wild. This is such ego boost is the wrong word. Doing these streams, it's a sense of community I don't necessarily get. I brought in the trash and I realized I don't think I'd been outside in 3 days. So if you're wondering how much I'm getting out and being socialized, the answer is not a lot. Thank God I have my best friend living with me and the love of my life. Oh, people are leaving Twitch for Kick. That's huge. Greetings from Seattle. Hello. People from Brazil. That's wild. Yeah, critters are so supportive. I'm always going to try and make sure I go to a con where I know there's plenty of critters if I can. I remember going to C2E2 and that was such a very... Oh, we got Norway. It's wild. YouTube's... Man. YouTube has... What are the things that you can do on YouTube? This is so strange. So this is me just talking about what unique experiences trying to get by on YouTube. Because they're great. I honestly think they're beating Twitch out in a lot of ways for streaming. Probably get demonetized in Twitch for saying that. I used to work at Twitch, technically. What are the things? So you've got memberships and gifts. Oh, so there's gifts as well. I wish I could connect my shopping to like the Critical Role store and stuff like that. So there's super chats, there are gifts flat out, and then there's memberships. There's so many different things. I'm sure this is all based off of a lot of educations that they have had from Twitch. I would like if gifts and memberships had additional tiers that kind of auto-fulfilled merch and stuff like that. I wish there was more. I wish there were more things like Patreon. And I'm on Patreon, by the way, and post exclusive content on Patreon as well. So, yeah, I really love the Mighty 9. There's a lot of uniqueness that is happening on the Mighty 9 right now. Specifically with how magic is constructed and used. Each person who's a caster uses magic in a different way. I have a little finicky thing about Ford, is they keep on calling Ford skinny, and I don't think Ford is skinny in the show. I think I had my character Avon, when I was playing him as a Hexblade Warlock, he was very thin, but like had a Cloud from Final Fantasy size sword that made no sense. So he was like kind of a wiry character that was almost like a Ichabod Crane. Like, imagine me without the shoulders, I guess. And me being 6'5". But he had the sword that made no sense because he's wielding it using his charisma stat, not his strength or his dexterity. He's just using it kind of almost by charisma alone, which is pretty wild. But I think that's really fun art. I need to get some art commissioned of Avon as that version of him, because his sword was stupid. It was like a great sword for an ogre, and then he's like this little skinny guy wielding it one-handed. It's absolutely absurd. Yeah, maybe they're saying he's skinny for orcish heritage. That's totally, yeah, I get it. I just I wish he's a little leaner, a little bit, yeah, like Alex Ward with a sword. Also, like, depending on your workout, you can get really ripped and be very lean. I used to be deceptively, when I was 18, I was ripped and but not bulky. So no one even knew because I was obsessed with doing sit-ups, and I was a farmer. So I had weird, creepy farmer strength, and I still do. Yasha's sword is still ridiculously big, for sure. Yeah, it was orcs that yeah. Good point. Good points. I still like the idea of a skinny boy wielding a great sword or something. So, I don't know if anyone's new to the chat. We're just kind of warming up to episode 8. I think this is going to be a big one. And then I think from here we're going to move to another table. Or we'll literally do it in the middle of it. I don't know, because it was definitely a cliffhanger ending. I feel like it's inevitable that we have a half episode. Half one table, half another. Because we started that way. So we could see that tonight. I don't know yet. Oh, we got a new member? Yeah, I call it Critical Hit. Thank you, Bob Sinclair, 007. Mid-episode, I think, could be happening. I know it's hard on the East Coast folks. It's just it's heritage or legacy, what we call it, because they used to have to stay up till 7 to start the show because they had day jobs. Certainly these are pre-taped and this is their job now, but it's kind of like the time that they own. A little too much coffee. Got a lot of people in the stream, 226 right now. Ooh, I think they would be going to the schemers. No, I think they're going to the seekers table after this. Well, they started with the seekers and then moved to the soldiers. That's a hard one, actually. Yeah, we got a lot of information from the seekers table. Maybe we do go to the schemers. I can see them doing schemers. I love schemers. I think I'd be at the schemers table. I play. Oh god, I'm figuring the name of the character from Arcane. So I love characters like Loki. I love characters like Peaky Blinders, Thomas Shelby. I love the Black Crows from. The Crows from. Oh my god, what is happening? Shadow and Bone. I love the Crows from Shadow and Bone. And I had another example. In Arcane, the evil guy from Arcane in Season 1. Love that character. Love. Love character design. It's very dishonored feeling. Lucius. Yeah, it is Lucius. God, Lucius. What a great name, Lucius. Lucius. It's a fun snarling type of name to say. I love crime lords and stuff like that. I would never be one. I don't have the Silco. Yeah, Silco. Silco is awesome. I also love the music video Sucker, which is a song that's in Arcane. But yeah. Yeah, Silco is amazing. I love that character. I think a lot of people from League of Legends actually wanted that character to be added. No more mourners, no funerals. What a good tagline. I will make it. I hope I don't lose anyone. I'm going to be honest. I don't care about any of the Western mythology chosen one stuff in Shadow and Bone. In terms of her being the Lightbringer or the Sunbringer, I don't care about any of that. I care about the Crows and only the Crows. In fact, I was sad to see the Shadow and Bone got canceled. Just spin off the Crows, man. Like, Crows were amazing. Just make a show about the Crows. That is your fantasy Peaky Blinders show. Just do the Crows. Just do the Crows. That's all the fans want. They don't want any of the other stuff. Just do the crows. That's my hobby horse. You have fancy Peaky Blinders sitting right there in your hands. And by the way, the cheapest to do is the crows. You're not having any special effects necessarily. You're not having magical abilities being used all the time. You just need some fun gun work and some sneaky plots, and that's the crows and some solid actors. That's all you need. It's not rocket science, everybody. That's my hobby horse. All right, I'm done. Sorry. Bring him back. Yeah, this is a Shadow and Bone anger rant. I would also argue Carnival Row was daring. Episodes 1 and 2, I thought. Regular null. The thing that is of most import for the Mighty Nine is Spurt for me. So Spurt isn't for like a year or two, right? But seeing if they could get Chris Perkins to play Spurt, or maybe like a crazy wild comedian like Patton Oswalt or something, I don't know. But having Spurt in Mighty Nine would be wild. I have listened to the books. I listened to, on a repeat for whatever reason, I listened to The Crows. And another really good novel is, he's a cleric, and it's a really good trickery domain cleric. I can't remember the title. It's a really kind of not elaborate title, but it's, I gotta come correct with my memory. My memory's fading. There's a really good books if you like real sneaky stuff and cleric stuff. Someone's gonna know in chat. I know it. It's a great book, and it's a series of books where this guy is a thief and a cleric, and he's a fake cleric. Loch Lamora. Oh my god, Lies of Loch Lamora. The series would kill. That's what we're talking about right now. So they actually worship a different god, and this is a great way to do a trickery domain cleric. Speaks a little bit about whatever was going on with Wikander. Loch Lamora, and this isn't spoiling anything. His order worships a trickery god, a god of trickery, but they don't tell people that. They tell them that they worship a different god, which is hilarious. It's the best thing ever. I love the idea of worshiping this god, but not actually the god that you're worshiping, which is like stealth upon stealth upon stealth, and that's like trickery domain cleric all the way. Lies of Loch Lamora, also a really well voiced audiobook as well, so I highly recommend that. If you're a Critical Role fan, I have a couple recommendations. I do feel like anything with the Crows right now for Campaign 4 from Shadow and Bone, fantastic. Really up the Armand Schemer's alley. Lies of Loch Lamora, really fantastic book. If you're really liking the scheming and the heavy plot line that's happening right now, and the world building is really, 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 really good. And a little bit of, and this is an underrated fantasy show. But King Arthur: Way of the Sword is fantastic, and that was supposed to be a trilogy, and they didn't make enough money. It bombed on the box office. Watch that, because it's King Arthur if he was a criminal, and I feel it's really well done. Amazing soundtrack, amazing cast, and really good special effects. Some of the special effects near the end, I'm not necessarily like a massive fan of, but like all-star cast, inventive story. Yeah, King Arthur: Way of the Sword. People are sleeping on that thing in a big way. I love fantasy heists. I will argue, though, no one's done a better heist than D&D, the movie. Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. It's great. I actually have a back and forth with the directors and the writers for that. That heist in Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, one of the best things I've ever seen. Amazing. What a inventive heist. Oh, Legend of the Sword, yeah. Not Way of the Sword. Legend of the Sword. Yeah. That another good rogues gallery. It's certainly it's D&D the movie is certainly more tongue in cheek than this campaign 4, but God, the movie underrated, should have done better at the box office, just wildly good, brilliant writing. I love D&D Among Thieves. I've watched it probably 80 times. Not 80 times, but I watched it 3 times in the theater for various weird reasons because of I got to see it as an employee. Then I got to watch it as I was at one of the premieres, and then in London. And then finally got to see it with my wife here in the States. I do remember I don't know if I remember the Robin Hood show from the early 2000s. I remember the one from the 80s, which was wild and crazy. We got a question from chat. Don't forget about super chats and stuff like that in case I miss anything. I'm also getting messages. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Do I think artificers can break campaigns? Yeah, they can. Yep, they can. Depends on the magical items. So let's see. I don't know where I saw the chat. Do I feel like artificers can? Well, I've got a lot of chat. Chat's really moving. Don't forget those super chats potentially because I'm having trouble hunting this one down. So artificers are interesting. So the problem is artificers can be a better rogue than a rogue, depending on the magical items they acquire, right? Like you've got things like Cloak of the Bat, Cloak of the Arachnid. You got some low-level stuff that gives you, like +5 to sleight of hand. So why bother having too high of a dexterity? You also have, as the armorer, you have kind of a stealth build armor called the infiltrator build, which gives you advantage on like stealth checks and stuff like that. You can be up to some nasty business as an artificer with the right loadout, and that also makes you a very dangerous archer as well as an artificer. Though the absolute 100% best archer in the game, I'm actually going to be doing this build, and I've been meaning to do this build for a long time, and I talk about it all the time, but the best build for an archer in D&D right now in 2024 is the Archfey Warlock, plus maybe a level fighter, and using the Goliath species. Because being an archer, mobility is one of the most important things in the history of archery. I know this is a long rant, but most archers were actually riding around on horseback, which was extremely effective, and they could take down knights, they could take down foot soldiers, everything else on horseback. And from Asia to Europe, Genghis Khan managed to take over like a significant portion of the world on horseback using horseback archers. So this is why mobility to archers is so important. As a Fey Warlock archer, you can Misty Step all over the place and shoot your target and then teleport 30 feet away. And maybe you're hitting them with like a slow effect from your weapon mastery, or you're using a cold effect from being a Goliath and slowing them another 10 feet. You can make a situation where they're never hitting you. You're always teleporting, and you can Eldritch Smite through a longbow +1. So you can smite like a paladin essentially, but with a bow and arrow. So Archfey Warlock is just the Bamfer. Yeah, it's Nightcrawler with a bow. Imagine Nightcrawler with a gun. Walk away from the fight. Like, it's just walk away. Nightcrawler with a bow, Nightcrawler with a gun. What's the point? You're going to die. You're going to die. This is in the 2024 rules for the player's handbook. And there's always been a weirdness about the Pact of the Blade when it comes to warlocks. They say if you summon a weapon, if you summon a pact weapon, it needs to be a melee weapon. True. However, your Pact of the Blade does not need to be. Um, it doesn't mean your Pact of the Blade can't be like a magical bow. So if it's a magical weapon, you can make any magical weapon your Pact of the Blade. It's a weird little finicky bit in 2024 and 2014. And it's on purpose. I asked Jeremy Crawford about it multiple times. Because people would argue with me about it. Yeah, the Javelin also has a slow weapon mastery, but if you're throwing a Javelin, you're not getting it back on the same turn. And also, if you have Pact of the Blade, you can eventually do 3 attacks in one turn instead of just 2. So you become even better. You are the best Warlock. Is the Sharpshooter fee available for this build? Sharpshooter exists, but Sharpshooter was broken in 2014. So it's no longer, you no longer take the -5 and get a +10 to damage, and that was always broken, and you should never have a feat or any type of ability where you have to use it. That means it's not good. I don't like power builds. I'm confused, Sid, again. Which bit? Yeah, I Dungeon Mastered a game for 3 straight years. I am thinking about Dungeon Mastering again. It just depends if we can raise enough money to actually pay the talent. Yeah, Nightcrawler with a bow and a gun is no fun. Oh, we got Chad's lively now. So I haven't looked at the Dragon Mark feat stuff because it's so very specifically Eberron. I don't tend to mix max using Eberron feats because they're so specific to the world. I kind of avoid it. Yeah, Gnome, Battlesmith, Artificer, Hooper Duke is fun, gun based on Percy Rolo guns. And one of the best gunners is definitely the Battlemaster Fighter. Is a good recommendation, but honestly, now the Hexblade can also be. You can be a hex gun, so you're back to square one. Really, Pact of the Blade can be a gun, so you can still go in that direction and still be the best. Other recommendations for gun characters. The Arcane Archer is looking fantastic. They've made it a lot more fun. You don't have more different shots, but you have a lot more different things you can do. You have more shots per day, and then you've got more you can do with those shots, and it's no longer specific to archery. It can be used with crossbows and guns as well. Anything with ammunition as a property. So that's in UA right now. So Arcane Archer is looking a lot better. Will it be better than the Archfey Warlock? No. I don't think so. Imagine trying to run at someone with a gun, and then they keep teleporting 30 feet away from you. Exhausting. Flavor is for free. Anything can be reskinned. Yeah, it's true. Sorry, I'm falling out of focus. The other thing is, this is my issue with the Armorer Artificer. Sorry that I'm going on a little bit of a rant here. The Artificer Artillerist is, nice, and you get 2 little turrets and all that stuff, but if you flavor your Evocation Wizard, to be using a gun as their spell focus, and they're casting fireballs from their pistol, well, isn't that the best gunner? I mean, at 5th level, you shoot a fireball out of your gun. I would think my Evocation was, and this is exactly what Megan, my wife, played. She played a gnome. Originally, she was into the Artillerist, but she moved over to Evocation Wizard, and so she just had a rifle. So her whole thing was, she would load her gun that was her spell focus and fire, fireball bullets. And that hit the spot. So, yeah, there's a gunslinger fighter in the 2024 rule set. But, like, in a world of Magic, think of how little impact guns truly have when you've got people that can drop lightning bolts and chain lightning, right? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, It's a hard thing in D&D in particular. I mean, Daggerheart's a lot more modular than D&D in this regard. So, Daggerheart, you get to choose the card that you're using for your keystone abilities, right? Like, you can mix and match things to make the character that you really want. It's really hard in D&D. If you set down a certain path, whether it's a class or a subclass, and after like 3 or 4 levels, you're like, I don't like this. You're going to chip around a lot. I've done it. I had a character that changed. I had a character that changed like 3 or 4 times. Once because I was mandated. But you get really you can get really bored if you choose a subclass that does not connect with you. Legends of the Seeker. I don't remember that. But yeah, I was in Legends of the Multiverse. That was a really popular show. It had Brennan, Mulligan, Deborah Wall, and all kinds of people in it. So yeah, the card system Daggerheart is really fun. The Alchemist I will say in Eberron is significantly better. Alchemist was almost unplayable before. Got 255 people in chat. What is everybody? I assume we've got a lot of new people in here. We're talking about some subclass and other options in D&D and Daggerheart and stuff like that. But we are still primarily here for Critical Role Campaign 4, Episode 8. So if you got questions specifically about that episode, I know that's why you're here. Yeah, prep your frozen pizza. I know how that goes, man. Go ahead and get your food warm. Yeah, we're like 30 minutes out, man. That's huge. Cartographer is really good. I like the concept of the cartographer quite a lot. I need some advice. Oh, we got someone who needs advice. I need some advice. I'm planning a Stranger Things one-shot where, as a DM, I'm going to be playing as an adventuring party, and my players have monster stat blocks level 20, which means the monster... What monsters would you suggest? Whoa. That's so hard. So your players are playing the monsters? Man, that seems really difficult. I 100% believe Critical Role will be making... Critical Role has already announced that they will be making a dispatch-style game, but in the world of Exandria, so that's going to be happening. I did not go to PAX Unplugged. I went to Los Angeles to interview Critical Role and Daggerheart. I could not afford to go to PAX Unplugged this year. Hopefully I'll have more of a following next year and I will be able to go. But it just wasn't in the cards this year. I don't know if anyone has a mole in the Sundered Houses right now. How much do you think it will impact the class changes on the CR Wiki? I don't think there is I don't think it's going to affect anything. But I could be wrong. Tales from this Table of Strange Things D&D book Jim Zub has a ton of great monsters. You may have homebrewed some of those stat blocks. Yeah. That's really hard, man. That's hard to answer in chat. It seems like a lot of work for you to run 4 characters as a party trying to fight level 20 monsters. That seems like a lot of work for you. I will say that. I don't know. I think the new yeah, I don't know where that's going to go with the Dean. I think it's a bad thing, or or yeah, it could be some kind of conspiracy thing between. It'd be wild if the Dean wasn't a bad person, right? The new Dean was actually a good person, or was a spy and was a mole. That would be crazy. Because your assumption is she's going to get fired, but she wants to maintain her status within the wizarding school, which I feel like someone needs to stay inside that school to like spy. I think maybe the Dean wouldn't be evil. Yeah, I didn't hear anything about from Unplugged that would affect Critical Role in any way. Hey, we're getting close. We're almost 20 minutes out, and we got 265 viewers. That's huge. That's wild. I wanted to play a PC with multiple personalities and roll to determine which PC I play. Every adventuring day, 6 to 10 different personalities. Oh man, that's wild. I wouldn't do that to myself. I would play. I could definitely. I mean, that would be like split. I don't know if I would ever do that to myself, but I could see myself doing a Venom character who was one type of character and then, werewolfed out into a Venom type creature with his own personality. Yeah, the Dean's giving off big Dolores Umbridge vibes. Yeah, I'm really worried about the weird questioning to Bolaire about the blades and where he keeps them. Something's way off. I'm a little suspicious. Why are they so keen on knowing how those blades work all of a sudden? Use those thumbs and like the stream. Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave comments, all that stuff. We got super chats, we got gifts. We had someone just gift 50 subs, which was absolutely wild, as you can see at the top of chat. With the pre-shot episodes, holiday break 1 week, Critical Role content. Yeah, I don't know where their particular breaks are going to be. I don't think we'll see an updated Bloodhunter class for D&D. I think we'll see we've got the Bloodhunter currently being worked on the Void for Daggerheart. I don't think the Bloodhunter would be too hard to update for 2024 core rules. And I'm sure D&D Beyond would love to have an updated Bloodhunter for sure. But I don't know that's going to happen. Bloodhunter is really good on Daggerheart right now, but that's going to take a lot of tweaking because Bloodhunter is a very complex subclass. Yeah, I wonder if she suspects what Bolaire is. Still suspicious of the whole blade thing. $259. Thank you so much for everyone for joining chat. I really appreciate it. I love hanging out with everybody and all the critters. I think that's fantastic. I really appreciate all showing up. Yeah. Well, I did miss the ads at the first 30 minutes of the stream. So thanks for the support. Thank you all for the super chats and all the supports and gifts and subscriptions. If I could afford to turn the ads off, I would. I think that's a pretty big stretch right now. So hopefully the ads aren't too aggressive right now on YouTube. We are streaming on Twitch right now, but pretty minimal presence on Twitch. All my audience is on YouTube. I am, if you would be so kind, if you have a TikTok account, go over to TikTok and follow me on TikTok. I'm trying to monetize that. You need 10,000 followers on TikTok to be able to monetize your TikTok channel, which is bonkers. I'm like 3,000 away from that. So I'm pretty far off. I don't know. It's hard to grow audience on TikTok lately. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you for putting up with ads. Yeah, I do a lot of shorts. And you certainly can. I'll be very frank. It's YouTube revenue for shorts is extremely low, and I suspect it's true for TikTok. But like, I would be silly not to be on TikTok. And I am uploading. I restarted uploading on TikTok vertical videos. But trying to get that monetized, I wouldn't do anything 16:9 over there. I did try streaming to TikTok, and like that got nothing. So my primary place will always be YouTube, and then cutting content from YouTube to fit TikTok, or maybe doing some individual things. We'll see. It's just, I am one person. There are only so many hours in the day. Well, Kelly, if you haven't seen ads all night, that might be because you have a subscription to YouTube. Yep, ads are on now. So we should be good. But yeah, it's definitely a miss before. 270 people in chat. That's wild. Thank you everyone for showing up. That's huge. We're 15 minutes away. Idea Monday after the Super Bowl. Perfect day to launch Critical Role Daggerheart miniseries. Yeah, good point. Yeah, good time to do it. But the most important thing to have at a table is chemistry. How's it going, Todd? I'm doing good. Long week. Had a lot of content coming out. Working hard, trying to, big grocery bill of the day. I'm eating nightmarishly healthy at the moment, so this is really real boring conversation. But yeah, I'm trying to slim down a little bit, and eating a lot of tofu and yogurt, but with a lot of things like chia seeds and spices and flaxseed and cod liver oil, which sounds disgusting, but they flavor it so it tastes like lemon. So if you have like zero fat yogurt and you put in cod liver oil, it tastes like lemon yogurt. I know it's disgusting. Anyways, it's not bad. It's actually really good. Katie says, what do you think? I don't want to spam chat with my own brainstorm, but I bet people would like to get excited about a Tachonis character build. Yeah, I actually had a character builder show. Yeah, I had a live show where we built different odd characters, and maybe if I did that every Wednesday, that might be something like that. You can't find me on TikTok. Weird. Hold on. Can you imagine if I don't have my own gamer tag? My own tag. I'm going to drop in chat. I think I can. Do. I am there. $15 out. I really appreciate all of you for being in here. Thank you so much. That's very kind. Oh no. I got the... Do you ever have too many windows open? I got a window open. I'm getting sound in my ear. That's gonna drive me crazy. Okay. Not there. Not there. Not there. Oh no. Found it. All right. Sorry, I had music playing in my ears. I was like, oh my god. Thank you so much for the follows on TikTok. Yeah, maybe I'll make that part of the little Autobot stream when we're streaming. I'll be streaming tomorrow, my reaction time. Let me know what the best time for everybody is. I feel like it's 1 p.m. Pacific. Dude, everyone's tech challenged. We're all tech challenged. They're changing the tech every day. Never feel bad about being tech challenged. No, they're not worried about it. I know Critical Role. I tend to try and make new thumbnails with various photos. I was a little bit lazy today, for sure. But no, they're not annoyed with me nicking their thumbnail. I know those folks. They know. I mean, I'm obviously not Critical Role. I put that big live symbol on there, or the pre-show symbol on there, to let people know. They know everything I'm doing is in good faith. I've been interviewing Critical Role for 8 years now, so. Oh, I don't think Critical Role needs me to promote them. That's very kind. No, yeah, I don't think anyone's popping into here thinking I'm Critical Role. But I may just update the thumbnails and try to find a new. But I think if people did think I was Critical Role, it'd be more than 244. I'm very thankful for 244. Todd is obviously not Critical Role yet. That's kind. Yeah, I'll just be 8 different players all at once. It'll be great. Somehow. New to the stream, my wife and I just stumbled in here while scrolling on YouTube. Now we're just laying here, hanging out. Love the show. Oh, thank you so much. That's so kind. We talk about a lot of stuff in the context of Critical Role, whether that's like D&D or subclasses or similar books and novels and all that stuff. And also we talk about the previous events on a previous episode of Critical Role. And obviously I interview the cast of Critical Role from time to time, and people over there at Daggerheart. I'm gonna get. I really love Dispatch. I'm hoping to get a free code for Dispatch, but I need to start streaming Dispatch as well. Yeah, I wanted to do a pre-show for Critical Role for. I thought it'd be fun to do a pre-show for Critical Role for years. But I was working at a different company at the time, so. But once campaign 4 started, I did a day before stream as a pre-show to what we knew about what campaign 4 was going to be about, and then I just got addicted to doing it. So yeah, no, let's keep on doing pre-shows. I like it. We got a tight crew here. We'll definitely keep them going. I think it'd be fun to start having surprise guests on the show and turn it into kind of like the Talking Dead, but before the show kind of situation. So I definitely would look at. I think it'd be fun if I brought on a guest or two to like talk about stuff and bounce ideas off of. I will definitely keep doing the pre-shows. So if you're new to the channel, don't forget like super chats, subscribing to the channel, leaving comments, liking, all that stuff. These VODs don't really last more than a day. Yeah, but pre-show with guests would be awesome. I agree. I think that'd be really fun. Super chats help fund this Patreon. We're on Patreon as well. Critical Chaz and a great name. I may have to steal that for sure. Surprise guest would be really fun. Yeah, 100%. I have some D&D content about to drop in the Patreon very soon. Drinking bingo game would kill me. And I am definitely not Chris Hardwick. Yeah, guess would be fun. Yeah, having the dungeon dudes on. Deborah would be a great guest. That'd be wild. Especially if we didn't tell people in advance. So people don't know this. I actually am dungeon master for Matt. At the end of Legends of the Multiverse, Matt showed up as Boo for me as a friend, and it was hilarious. He played Boo the hamster. It was pretty wild. It was a weird game. It was a weird campaign. Daggers in the Heart, pretty cool. Crit Soul. Yeah. So yeah, I think this is something that's going to evolve over time. I think this is a good show to keep doing. Every time you actually can't read her dice. Dude, you gotta choose dice you can read. I made that mistake. I bought some really cool Artificer Modron looking dice with gears and stuff. I couldn't read them to save my soul. I need dice with big fat numbers. I do have some like 45th anniversary D&D dice that are pretty easy to read, but I don't care if I'm throwing foam blocks at this point. My nearsightedness. Oh yeah, Mercer was playing Boo. He killed it. God, so funny. Such a good friend. Such a good guy. That was absolutely hilarious. We got 220 people still in here, and we're just like 7 minutes out. That's pretty wild. And I got to jump into watching the show with you. Set up dice that glow in the dark. That would be fun. Yeah, I think I just want big, fat dice. It's funny because I used to game with people, and one of them mentioned, like, oh, it's really hard for me to read my dice. I'm like, why would it be hard for you to read your dice? That's crazy. And now 10 years later, I'm like, man, I get it. I get it. Those clear dice at Hero Forge are nuts. I highly recommend them. They're cool as F. So one tomorrow, if we can make it. Yeah, I'll be back here doing... Oh yeah, sorry everybody. I do reaction videos the next day. So I will have breakdowns of everything that happened in tonight's episode. Probably around 1 p.m. Pacific time. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. You have dice that light up when they read? Oh, okay, because I've seen some of those dice that kind of have digital readouts, and I didn't know how readable they were. Megan actually bought me a pair of really spooky black and green level up dice years and years ago. The big chunky dice, so very easy to read. But we're getting ready for the show. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for supporting the channel with all the gifts, the subs, the super chats. Do we know if they're switching tables tonight? I suspect we could have a split table tonight, but I could be wrong. So we could start off with the soldiers table. Well, not start off with the cold open, but then go to the soldiers and maybe resolve something in the soldiers at that moment and then move on to the seekers or the schemers. That's just a theory. A lot could go down. A lot could go wrong in this episode because we're dealing with Casimir. It's a Casimir episode. Someone's going to stab that dude right through the throat. If they don't, I'll be a little disappointed. Casimir seems like a very killable character. I think we all feel that. So I don't think there's going to be any... Undeath will be rough for Casimir. I'll just say that. Thank you all for being in this stream. Thank you for supporting this channel. Really appreciate it. Awesome. That's very kind. Thank you so much, Kat. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody here. 200 viewers still happening. You got 4 minutes. Everyone's hanging on to the last second. Yeah, be well to you, man. All of you. Thank you so much, Denise. Man, look at all the channel members now. It's wild. Good show. Good show. All right, I'm gonna put the be right back. I appreciate all of you. Take care of yourselves. Be healthy. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the new fans. That's huge. I appreciate you. All right, we're winding down. 3 minutes to go. Thank you so much. I can still hear the Kenrits cry.